Hello, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Third Innings Live. I'm Behram who you can find at Def Mango on Twitter. And with me is Varun Alvaconda, who you can find literally nowhere. And day two has come to a close, Varun, at Lord's in the World Test Championship Final. Australia lead by 218 runs. They are currently 144 for 8. And I mean, yet another 14-day wicket, absolute chaos. I mean, this could have looked a lot different if not for that partnership, that 61-run partnership between Alex Carey and Mitchell Starc.
Yeah, as I was saying in our group chat, the first two innings would not look out of place in a 1975 ODI.
Yeah.
Both were less than 60
Honestly.
overs. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, it was such an interesting start to the day because, I know South Africa ultimately fold for 138, but they actually win the first session. We got to see a lot of compelling cricket, and there was some positive stroke play by Temba and Bedingham at times. And, they started the day at 43 for 4, and at lunch, South Africa were 121 for 5. So they actually made 78 runs in the first session, losing a solitary wicket. At that point, you really believed that something magical could potentially happen.
Yeah, at that point, we did believe. But yesterday, I was like, I had no faith in South Africa, and they were even worse than I imagined. You remember when I was like, they'll be allowed for 150? You're like, oh, he's being very harsh on them or something. And they were even
Also,
worse than that.
You got one thing wrong. I asked you if one batter or a solitary batter would get to 50, and you said someone will luck their way to it. No one did.
I assume Bauma would, but no.
Actually, I really liked the way Temba was playing, man. I honestly I was bummed out when he got out because look, he was playing quite positively at the start of the day. You saw a lofted cover drive, a lofted square drive, a grounded cover drive, and then for me, the shot of the match thus far, that pull shot for 6, right? And then it is that lofted cover drive that spells his end. Fantastic catch by Marnus. I'm not sure if that was better or the Bo Webster catch was better, actually, because both of those catches were like really, you'd require a lot of athleticism to pull those off.
Yeah, definitely. I think I missed the Bo Webster one. Who did he take?
Bo Webster took Rabada's wicket right at the end. He didn't spot the ball. So he was confused, if you remember. And then all of a sudden he saw the ball and then he dove and caught it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I didn't see that, so I can't say it, but I love the Manas catch. It was really good, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, we've got a super chat from Akshat, who is a Tottenham Hotspur fan. So congratulations to you, Akshat. You finally won a trophy this year. Doesn't seem like South Africa will share your fate, though. He asks, what do you guys make of the seam numbers they showed on the broadcast? 0.7 versus 0.6 doesn't seem like a big jump, but that extra amount of seam seems hard to adjust to quick enough. So these last two sessions were actually quite hard for batting from what we saw, because we saw a fair bit of movement off the deck, and it's been weird. I don't think any of us expected this, but then again, we didn't really see the sun come out either, did we? Like very, very few patches in the day.
So to answer the question, 0.7 degrees of sea movement on average is actually quite difficult to play. So, and the other thing with that also is I think the graphics are showing it was just ridiculous bowling by both teams. What was it, 75% of the balls are in the good length? How the hell are you supposed to play that? Like, any sea movement is so difficult to handle, right? And let's be fair, it's not two great batting lineups either, right? Most of the batters are either very raw, inexperienced, out of form. Like, it's all somewhere, it falls into that spectrum, right? Other than Bavuma and Smith, who else are we actually confident about in both teams?
I mean, I thought Bedingham at times played really well in this innings. He was really good off the front foot, down the ground, off his legs, and there was one scintillating cover drive. But like, it was just that length, right? When it was full, he would look good. Otherwise, he just kept getting squared up, right? Every other ball.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult to face any of these bowlers on this wicket, right?
And
especially Lungi Ngidi. Shout out to Behram.
Oh, yeah, of course. How can we not mention Lungi Ngidi? So, on our group chat, I messaged these guys saying that the Lungi Ngidi overs are my least favorite in the test. I tweeted that as well. And then I doubled down. I said that if I had Adam Sandler's remote controller from the movie Click, I would forward every Lungi Ngidi over. And we were also in a proper debate as to who could have been better than him. Kyle Abbott, Anrik Nokia, Gerald Coetzee, Nandre Berger. Duan Olivier's name came out. Right? Like, we were really going deep down that rabbit hole, and all of a sudden, Lungi Ngidi comes and he traps both of Steve Smith and Bo Webster LBW, the leading run scorers in this test match, and then he cleans up Pat Cummins as well. So that was a phenomenal spell by Lungi, and of course, once I had said what I had said, you can expect him to do wonders.
Yeah, definitely. It was encouraging. It just came out of nowhere, right? I think I think Graham Smith just looked shocked as well in the commentary. He was like, he was just so like he did nothing the whole game for the first innings. Then he just comes, he gets that wicket, and he just looked like a different bowler. He just hitting the right lengths again and again.
I saw a tweet, I think, which said that he is really good in the second innings. So yeah, I mean, this was the third innings of the game and second batting innings for Australia. I mean, I'm happy for Lungi to prove me wrong. And honestly, I mean, South Africa had Australia in absolute tatters at one point. Australia was 73 for 7. Their lead at that point, if I'm not wrong, was somewhere around 140 something, 147, if I do the math, right? And if you are...
is it no more than that? Or am I getting confused?
No, it is that, because they were leading by 74. Leading by 74 and then 73 for 7. So they were effectively 147 for 7. And
they really doubled the score in this partnership.
Yeah, they did, man. They scored 61 runs, the two of them, Alex Carey and Mitchell Starc. And quite honestly, at that point when they had Australia at 73 for 7, I thought to myself, okay, if you can restrict them to under 180 or even 180, I'm going to back South Africa just a little bit. But now with the lead standing at 218, I'm not really feeling positive at all. That's where it's at.
I have zero faith in this run chase. I think it's South Africa chasing in a knockout, right? That's what I think. I'm like, every time we think they'll prove us wrong, they just almost fall into the trap. Maybe it's different with Test cricket.
Yeah,
we haven't seen it yet. It's new territory.
It's the team that didn't chase 30 of 30 in the T20 World Cup final also. But I mean, I think these things are mere conjecture.
They didn't chase 213 in 99 either, right?
That's true. So whilst I feel like history doesn't matter, for South Africa, I feel like they need to get the monkey off their back. So it kind of does matter, right? They probably do feel that extra bit of pressure. But I feel like, whatever they go down chasing tomorrow, because they still have to take 2 more wickets, they've got to try and play a little bit positive, because if they don't, one of those deliveries will have their names on it. And we're seeing that the seam movement has increased today. Now, they would be hoping that tomorrow the sun is shining bright and it's the best batting day at Lord's, right? Because it is still day 3. But then again, man, it's just that Australia's bowlers, they've just been so on the money. And South Africa's batting is flaky, fragile, and inexperienced, barring Temba and Markram, I suppose. So they don't inspire a lot of confidence.
Yeah, like what is the way they win this match, right? Let's realistic possibilities. Aiden Markram has his once in a year innings.
Yes, I mean, even a quick fire 40 odd, if that sets them up and they are 53 for 1 chasing 225, maybe they have a shot.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but then again, they're going to be facing Starc and Hazelwood with the new ball. Cummins is not missing his mark by the slightest. That man was on absolute fire today. 6 for 28. Took 1 wicket yesterday, of course, that of Wian Mulder. And today he comes and, initially removes Temba Bavuma, but that's a spectacular catch by Marnus. But again, they probably planned for that. That, hey, he's playing these lofted cover drives. Let's keep a fielder in that region. And that paid off. And then I feel like the real turning point was when post-lunch, Cummins comes on and he removes Kyle Verreynne, which was a fantastic review. He pins him LBW. And then has Janssen caught and bowled in the same over. I feel like that's where they kind of broke South Africa's back. Because at 121 for 5, South Africa had recovered well. But then they go on to lose their last 5 wickets for 12 runs. That's what happened. And Pat Cummins orchestrated it.
Again, this is exactly what I was hoping for. That both Cummins and Rabada face each other off and do well. And we saw Rabada bowling Cummins with top of off, and then Cummins just peppering him with a short ball.
Yeah, dude, he hit him twice.
Yeah.
He hit
I was
Rabada
like, what
on
the hell is
shoulder
South Africa
first.
going to do if he injures him?
Honestly, man, like it was kind of scary because the first blow that he took was on his shoulder, and I was like, thank God that missed his helmet. And then very next ball, I feel he hits his grill, and I mean Cummins was bowling a lot of heat as well. I don't know if you checked the speeds, but he was clocking it close to 90 miles per hour, right? So yeah, I mean it was quite an exhibition of fast bowling. We all know that Pat Cummins can hit top of off all day, but the short stuff is what really impressed me. And I feel like as far as South Africa's bowling is concerned, of course they've been good overall, but I feel like Temba has used Rabada far too conservatively at times. And also, I was really surprised to not see South Africa try the short stuff versus Stark, because it's not like Carey was farming strike. Stark would face a lot of deliveries. Take a man back, at fine leg or something, or deep backward square, and pepper him with some short stuff. Like, surely that could have been a ploy.
Yeah, definitely. But on Rabada, maybe it was just fitness. We don't really know. Like, they might just be holding him back because of that. And short ball, like, is it just a case of the bowlers just not used to bowling short?
Yeah, that could also be the case. And of course, the bounce has been low at Lords, but then Pat Cummins showed us exactly, how much he can make the ball
he's a phenomenal
bounce. And
bowler of short bowling.
he always targets the rib cage. His short deliveries are extremely difficult to kind of cope with. And then, of course, once he gets those 2 wickets in the same over, Verena and Janssen, he also removes Bedingham, who's batting at 45, right? He's the set batter. And then he ends up removing, what was it? Rabada, yes. He got Rabada off the short delivery, which was that phenomenal catch by Bo Webster. So Pat Cummins not only made the Lord's Honours board with his effort of 6 for 28, he also now has 300 test wickets. And here's another fun stat for you, Varun. He has become the first fast bowling captain to take a fifer at Lord's since Bob Willis in 1982.
Yeah. They were saying it, right? And the first bowler in since Victoria at some point. It was in the dressing room with them. So yeah, it was amazing.
yeah, true.
So just to answer Nora's question, Jared's at the ground, so he can't really film when he's at the ground.
Yes.
I don't think he's allowed to. Even if you see the main channel videos, like filming your bins for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why there is no scoreboard. It's not because like we don't want to do it. I think if Jared could be at 2 places at one, he would be doing the scoreboard.
I mean, if Jared could, he definitely would be, right?
Yeah.
He probably has been at 2 places at one time at some point in his life. Today just doesn't happen to be that day. But like, hey, I mean, if this test match ends tomorrow, I don't think we'll be having another third inning show. Jared will probably just reach home, and then I'll stay up and we'll record the show. I mean, that's plausible. It could very well happen. That's why we haven't even set up a schedule for the next little while, because that could happen. But anyway, of course, Pat Cummins was the player or the performer of the day. There is no doubt about it. And Australia, with that 74-run lead, were always strong favourites. But then again, you just never know with sport. Sure, they lead by 218 runs now. Sure that Carey and Stark's 61-run partnership has kind of taken this chase beyond South Africa. But if you're South African, and if you are especially a team member, right? If you are part of that dressing room, you have to believe there's no other way around this. And you can also like hope against hope that maybe the conditions ease tomorrow. Maybe the sun is out for the entire day. Maybe Australia's bowlers just bowl filth. Who knows?
Yeah, like so they just have to do what Bazball do, right? And just be like, well, look how many times England chased down 250 plus scores in England in the last 3 years, and just hope they can do it. Because at the end of the day, it's still just day 3 tomorrow, right? It's not like a day 5 pitch which everything's just gone to shit.
Absolutely. I feel like the overcast conditions and the weather and the wind, that has played a major role. But then, of course, we've seen the surface give us a lot of information with all of that deviation, right? So we've seen the ball seam around consistently throughout this game. At times it hasn't been as bad, and at times it's been horrific. But I will mention this, that Australia have gotten the worst of the batting conditions in this game. And despite that, they bowled South Africa out for 138. So we do know surely who is the better team amongst the two. It's just that in one-off games, crazy shit can happen. And I feel like this has been the most competitive World Test Championship final, for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe it dishes out a classic tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. I think the India-New Zealand was like competitive in the first 2 innings, and then India just fall way behind in the second innings. But yeah, like just so far, it's just been absolute cinema, hasn't it? Just both teams just going at each other, both fast bowlers. Yeah. So again, I think both batting liners just being terrible at batting has just really helped.
Yeah. Of course, that has been a major
Again,
theme,
it's been
but
such a weird batting effort by both teams. I don't think they batted badly, but I don't think they
yeah.
batted well.
True. I mean, it is tough to be batting out there, and there's some quality fast bowling on display as well, so you can't really take anything away from the fast bowlers. But I do agree at times it has been poor batting. Anyway, we have discussed the batting enough and Pat Cummins' performance. We do have to discuss some South African performers with the ball. But before that, we'll be taking a short break. You guys are watching Third Innings with Behram and Varun, and we will be back in like half a minute, so go nowhere.
As an international cricket journalist for 10 years, I tell you what, I have got a collection of international SIM cards that I will never truly understand. Now I find there is a company called Selly who gives you an eSIM, and it makes it all so much easier. So if you're planning on making any trips, download your Selly eSIM app, and you can also get a 15% discount if you say good areas, all one word, at checkout. Travel like a pro with your Selly eSIM today.
Welcome back to Third Innings. You guys are with Behram and Varun. And there are more and more questions coming around why there is no scoreboard. Varun has answered that. Jared,
we just answered this,
the
Noor.
ground. We even answered this question from Noor, who's asked it again. So he cannot shoot at the ground, which is why you don't have a scoreboard. And we might not have a lot of scoreboards this summer because Jared is going to most games, but he's not going to the Headingley Test match, which is the first test between... no, it isn't the first test, is it? Is it?
It is the first test, yeah.
It is the first
Headingley.
test. Yeah. Between India and England. So you might see a few scoreboards over there. Right. And yeah, Madhav, Garg, it might not be as competitive, but it's more competitive than the other two World Test Championship finals. That's kind of what we were hinting at, right? Okay. So South Africa's bowlers, right? You look at KG Rabada. In the first innings, he removes Khawaja and Khawaja and Cam Green within the space of 4 deliveries. And gets a 6th over, I believe, in this spell in the second innings or the third innings overall. And then he does the same, basically. He removes Khawaja, almost identical dismissal to the first innings. And this time, within the space of 3 balls, he removes Green. So it was quite carbon copy over there. And then also with Janssen removing Labuschagne. So Cheyenne has had a field day, right? Those are the 2 matchups that he identified. Rabada versus Khawaja and Janssen versus Labuschagne. And bam, that's why we hire the best at good areas.
Yeah, also, like, Khawaja's actually gotten much worse versus bowlers coming around the wicket now. If you look at it from 2022 and 2023, he was averaging 49 versus bowlers coming around the wicket, right? Since 2024, that's dropped to 17. So there's clearly like a technical flaw that's propped up, and it's just been exploited by everyone, right? We saw Bumrah do it so well in the Border Gavaskar Trophy as well.
It's
wasn't
interesting with Uzi. He just came off a double 100 in Sri Lanka, but he was poor in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. But then again, he was facing Bumrah in the Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Again,
with
you
the
can't
new
blame
ball.
the guy. It's been sandwiched like a Sri Lanka series between Bumrah and Rabada, right?
Yeah, it is tough work, but a lot of people are speculating that Uzi will call time on his test career or overall international career after this test match. I'm not too sure about that, man, because I saw a statement by him where he was like, age is just a number. If I'm enjoying my cricket and contributing positively towards the team, I think I can carry on. Maybe he wants to play that Ashes at home because England's
why would you
fast
say no
bowling
to
is...
the Ashes, right?
Yeah, England's fast bowling is definitely an easier challenge than what he's facing with facing Bumrah and Rabada with the new ball.
Yeah, also, we're assuming that the World Test Championship Final is an important event, right? Maybe it doesn't matter to them as much as the Ashes does. So for him, the great exit would be winning the Ashes.
And the Sydney test is always the New Year's test, eh? So that is kind of his home ground, right? I know he has grown up in Queensland, but then again, no, actually, it's the other way around.
No, he's
grown up
Queensland.
he's grown up
Yeah, he
in
plays for
Sydney,
Queensland.
and then he plays for Queensland. That's basically what it is. But both of
Queensland
those
was Gabba,
grounds,
right? That's the home
Yeah.
ground, isn't it?
SCG and the Gabba both count as Uzi's home grounds, and his record at the SCG is phenomenal from what I can remember. I do remember that comeback test in which Head got COVID, and then Uzi comes out to open the
Yeah,
batting.
twin
gets
sons. No, he
twin
bats at 5,
hundreds.
actually. He bats at 5.
Oh, yeah, he did
Yeah.
bat at 5. You're right. But he
No, I
gets
think
twin
Marcus Harris
hundreds.
was opening, and then drop him for the next step. Uzi opens
Yeah.
from then on.
Do you remember the celebrations? There was one LeBron celebration, and there was another fun one. But anyway, I feel like he's had a very distinguished career as test match opener. So even if he decides to go out tomorrow, it'll be fine. He has only scored a solitary run in this test match, but his contributions towards this campaign obviously have been much more than that. And yeah, I mean, I have this feeling that he's going to stick around till the Ashes.
Yeah, same. I don't. Again, unless miss something, like who else is like pushing him for his place now?
I don't think there's any obvious contender. Maybe
Yeah,
Cam
I mean,
Bancroft.
we know Constance is in the ranks, but
Yeah.
Marnus hasn't made any runs either. So
I mean, that whole experiment to open with Marnus and have Cam Green at number 3 has failed. Cam Green has scored 4 runs across 2 innings, and he hasn't been able to cope with Rabada or deal with him. And then Marnus has batted time, but what, 17 and 22 off over 100 deliveries? Easy, right? I don't know the exact numbers, but it has to be over 100 deliveries. So I don't
Yeah.
know if that's a success, honestly. Like, you got the odd good cover drive, but it's been tough work for him out there, and I don't think he is a viable option opening the batting for Australia in the long run.
yeah, I think that's completely fair. Right? But who is though? That's the other thing. Like who's
Wait,
opening for them? Is it just Constance?
There's Marcus Harris, there's Constas, there is Cam
Is
Bancroft,
Renshaw
and
still around?
there's Renshaw as well, I feel. So there's those
okay.
4 guys who are potential contenders. Nathan McSweeney is not a contender, right? That I can firmly say. But anyway, so yeah, Rabada ultimately gets the 3rd wicket of Alex Carey as well. But let's just talk a bit about that Alex Carey knock, right? It is a counter-attacking knock. He scores 43 off 50. He kind of completely swings the momentum away from South Africa. And as soon as that lead is over 200, that's job done right there. And he has been this clutch batter for Australia
that's
in
what-
recent times.
Yeah, we did on our road to the WTC video. That's what Shayan realized is like every time Australia has been in trouble, just Carey has a great knock. Which is absolutely bizarre.
Yeah, it
his
is.
numbers haven't been great this cycle as well. I think it's like just about 30 or something like that.
Yes, but he has improved, I feel, as a batter. Of course, he's playing at Lords once again, and his last outing did kind of impact him mentally a bit, right? With the whole Bairstow incident. And I remember in that moment today where there was a potential dismissal for obstructing the field or whatever, Alex Carey's face just said, I have nothing to do with this. Keep me out of it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mental battle for him in the after that Ashes, right?
Yeah, it has been. But I feel like, look, he has been decent versus pace. His game versus spin has really improved. He swept one today for 4, right? And I observed his batting a lot in that Sri Lanka series. There are 3 to 4 shots that he plays a lot, right? The conventional sweep, the reverse sweep, big shot down the ground after using his feet, and then he kind of works the ball through the covers as well versus spin. Those 4 shots have done a lot for him in this format, and he's always been a really good keeper, but I never thought of him as an elite batter. I still don't think of him as an elite batter, but he does consistently give you clutch runs, and today he might just have played one of the most important knocks of this World Test Championship final, right? Would you say that he was the best batter of the day? Do you think he was better than both Bedingham and Bavuma?
Yeah, I think you have to say he was, right? He's the only one who's looked fluent in his innings, even though he played and missed a lot. Which is again the most strangest thing about this game is everyone's playing and missing, but someone's still surviving.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just who survives the most is who basically made the runs. Right, Webster in the first innings. Smith had 2 umpires call shots. There's so much luck in this game, right?
absolutely. And today, even like we saw 2 LBW calls where ultimately it was inside edge, right? With both Bavuma and Alex Carey. But I feel like the approach and intent by Carey was on point, and he kind of was unnerved, if you will, right? He didn't let the gravity or the magnitude of the occasion get to him. So I think that was big. And then you're adding 61 runs with Mitch Starc at a point where the pressure is as high as it can
I think
be.
it's 71. B.
Is it 71, buddy?
Yeah, they were 73 for 7 and they won 4-4 now, right?
Can you check that?
Yeah. Is it not?
Yeah,
Were they not
quickly.
73 for 7?
Quickly check that, because if I have that wrong, then I need to
Oh,
change
sorry,
me
Carey
notes.
gets out. I missed Carey getting out. Sorry.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
thought-
61 runs, Varun. I have a
Yeah,
very keen
completely-
eye on the game. I
Yeah,
barely make errors.
Why did I miss? I think I missed Carey's wicket.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah, that's right.
again, it's not just the 61 run partnership.
Mm-hmm.
South Africa in this test match have bowled 19 no balls across 2 innings.
Yeah.
19. That's crazy.
If it's way less than I thought, I felt like it's been way more than that for some reason.
Australia have bowled 2. Okay, in
Yeah.
comparison. Of course, they've bowled in one less innings, but 19 no balls is a touch too many. And I mean, we haven't even seen a situation in which they get a wicket off a no ball, right? Which could happen at this rate.
Yeah, it's so insane it hasn't actually happened.
Yeah.
I just keep waiting for it.
So whilst I've been very pleased with the way South Africa have bowled overall, right? And even Ngidi had his day today, and Mulder has been surprisingly really good, gets heads wicket, right? Cleans him up, so that's a big one. There are a few things, right? I don't think they, or Temba, I don't think Temba has used Rabada well enough. Maybe it's a fitness thing, but for me, that's a touch too conservative. There have been plenty of moments in this game where we're texting in our group, bring Rabada on. Where the hell is KG? Bring Kagiso on, right? That's been happening. Then there's the 19 no balls, of course. And then you had to, I feel like we really had to try the short ball tactic versus Stark. Maybe don't do it versus Carey, but at least you could do it versus Stark, right? Because it's not like Carey was farming strikes, so just maybe it doesn't work. Try it at least. And you've got guys like Rabada and Janssen who are bowling. It's not like they're not bowling, right? And Jared pointed this out, that they bowled Ngidi and Mulder for a bit too long.
Yeah. I was just checking Rabada. Rabada is a good bouncer from what I can look at. So they could have used him for it.
Yeah. And
Yeah, and
that's
also like Vignesh brings up a point, right? What is the perfect distance for a slip?
yeah,
because we saw
honestly,
that.
this is a major talking point. So I actually feel like Australia were the better fielding team today, right? No drops. In fact, they had two spectacular catches, both of Marnus and Bo Webster. And South Africa, it's not like they dropped many. They just dropped one towards the end where Janssen is at third, fourth slip or something. And he drops Mitch Stark in the final over, which of course could go on to hurt them because Stark can hit a few, right? If he comes out tomorrow and smashes 3 sixes and they lose by 20 runs, well, that's the difference for you. But overall, their fielding has been fine. It's their positioning of fielders, which was exceptional in the first innings. And in this innings, we've seen like 1,500 catches fall short in the slips. And even for Verena, if you remember, right? That has been a major theme. I was so frustrated. I was like, my God, Aiden, just take 2 steps forward, right? What the hell are you doing? And
Yeah, it was like there was a point where like there was like it was either a no ball or like a catch that just was just short. Like,
Yeah.
it was just happening back to back.
It was back to back, man. It felt like there were at least like 5 opportunities like that, which went begging. And the last one, which falls short of Bedingham, right? Why the hell are you the only slip fielder which is so behind? Did you see the formation?
Yes, it
I
was in
didn't
the
get
second
it.
slip. It was just behind, right? Yeah,
Or,
I
like,
don't know what was happening.
I had no idea what was happening. And the one thing that they got exceptionally right in the first innings, they fucked up over there in the third. And I feel like this is one of the major reasons why Australia lead by 218 runs. You could call it luck as well that, they kept falling short. But when they continue to fall short, something has got to give. You have to react to that situation.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Like, again, it's like it's one of those things that there are times where we react differently to I think teams on field do. But we
Yeah,
just say
maybe.
things easy. Maybe like teams just react differently, right?
Also, I feel like every cricket fan who isn't Australian wants this for South Africa, right? Everyone's
Yes,
kind of
that's true.
rooting for them. So the frustration is tenfold when this sort of stuff happens. And I'm sure like they're making their notes as well. And I'm quite certain that they're going to come out roaring tomorrow and Australia are going to lose their 2 wickets quickly. I'm not even like fussed about that. But the fact that they lead by 218 runs already, I just don't know, man. A lot of things need to go in South Africa's favor. And maybe Australia, not only do they need to bowl poorly, they need to drop a few catches if South Africa are going to get close.
Yeah, like, someone needs to have a good day for South Africa. I don't think they can do it as a team.
You think so? Because I feel like
Yeah.
they are the sort of batting lineup where people could chip in with 30s and 40s and get them close.
I can't see that happening. That's the one thing
Really?
I can't see. I can see